everybody, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to if you are new. Today I wanted to do something a little different. We all know as readers that reading is actually two separate hobbies. One, actually reading books, and the other one, looking for books, buying books, shopping, just basically shopping. I don't have any money today, so I thought I'd window shop the Amazon top 100 fantasy romance books right now. I kind of just want to see what's popular, what's trending, what new authors are out there, those kind of things, all in the fantasy romance genre. I've seen Jess and Tori do this before on their podcast, but they do like contemporary, they do like all genres, it's just romance. I don't read a lot of other subgenres, so I'm just gonna do fantasy romance because that's what I like. This video might be long, so let me get a drink first. All right, now that I'm hydrated, let's get into the top 100. The first, I guess, number 100 is Shadows So Cruel. This is book 2 from this series, I think. It's with like a crow shifter. I don't know a lot about it. All I know is that Jess from Honest Fiction read this and liked it. So I am curious about this. I do have this on one of my like fantasy romance TBR lists that I have I have like 100 of them. Lady of Darkness at 99. I started this book and the concept is cool. It's like there's these 3 sisters and they are assassins. Who doesn't love a good assassin book? But the audiobook just wasn't working for me, and I think I DNF'd it like within the first chapter. It could have just been that my mind wasn't focusing on it because I was at work, but yeah, I do want to try this one again. Maybe physically though. Court of Dragons and Crowns. I don't even know what this is. I know who G. Bailey is. A dragon king needs a queen, and they have chosen me to compete. Ooh. Perfect for fans of spicy fantasy. Why choose romance? That is me. That is me. Add to list. Lion on Loan, Zoe Chant. I have no idea what this is too. Oh God, he's just lying around on the job and she's positive something's wrong. I love a good pun, but this might be too much for me. Okay, the next 4 are all by authors that I don't know, it's not that I don't like them, it's just that I'm not gonna read them, I guess. The 2 Carolyn Peckin books and 2 Jennifer L. Armentrout books. Listen, all of these are really long series that I have no desire to start or continue reading. Actually, the Warrior Fae book, I know, I read the first book in that series. It was good. It just, you know. And then some more. And then some more from 92 to like 90. Yeah, no. Game of Fate, Scarlett St. Clair. I don't like this series from her, but I like another one. More Carolyn Peck. I mean, she's got good covers. I gotta give her that. Storm of Secrets and Sorrow. Oh, I think this is the other series from Melissa Roerich. Definitely. That's definitely the one I want to read. Demon Reform Academy. Term 1. I'm not like a super fan of Academy, and this looks like more paranormal. Yeah, I don't know that I'll be reading that one. Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. Evren. Prince Evren. My king. My prince. My shadow daddy extraordinaire. Love him. Okay, 84 is another Carolyn Peckin book. I can tell you, there's probably going to be like 100 of her books, their books, because isn't it an author duo? There's probably going to be like 100 of their books. I don't even know how they write all those books. Are you sure they're not AI? Crown of Blood and Ruin. I love seeing that this series is like coming back and getting some hype from LJ Andrews because of the Ever King duology that she's currently like working her way through. This is her older series. The 2 are tied together. I personally didn't go back through the rest of the series, but I know people are like loving these like reprints of her books, and yeah, I do think LJ Andrews is a fantastic author. I'm gonna see her soon at Romanticycon, so I can't wait for that. The Blackbird Oracle. Like, I know that this is kind of maybe technically fantasy, but I don't know. I don't really like consider this fantasy, I guess. It's more like paranormal, these ones. Maybe I'm just being too technical because it's not the fantasy that I read. Okay, Bonded by Thorns. I just got this book. Yeah, look at this book. I just got it in the mail yesterday. Stunning, right? And then the edges are roses. They're so pretty. But then the end papers also got me. Oops. Because they're actually like foiled on the inside too. So you can kind of see the foiling. Like, this was a good one. I have to admit, that was a really good one. I haven't read the book yet, but it is my choose, and I will read that. Number 80 is Rhapsodic, another series that I probably will never read. Wolf King, what are you? Okay, A, cover is stunning. Okay, romantasy with werewolves, something about an alpha, thinking she's the key to unlocking or winning a war against humans. Why does that always come down to like one girl? I don't know. It's a weird thing. That I'm interested. I'm still interested. Don't get me wrong. Nine-Tailed. I have seen this one as well by J.C. Lee. I think this is more traditionally published fantasy. I definitely see a difference between like traditionally published fantasy. It's much more tame than at least the fantasy romances that I read that are indie or self-published. Sunny Cho aspires to be the dullest, least interesting person in any given room. Same, girl, same. I feel like the Korean folklore aspect of this is definitely not something you see all the time. So even though this sounds like more like a second chance romance, more heavy on the fantasy side than on the romance side, it could be a good one. Gold. Okay, the Plated Prisoners series, I haven't read. I haven't read. I do think I would enjoy, but at this point it's becoming a thing where, like, again, this is book 5. I am like a solid trilogy girl. Okay, when it gets longer than 3 books, I really start to lose interest. Like, it has to really capture my interest. And then when there's already 5 books out and I haven't even read book 1, it's just a little daunting for me to start. Even though I probably know I would love it. 75 House of Beating Wings. Unfortunately, I think this is just one author I don't really care to read from. I read like Feather by Olivia Wildenstein. It really wasn't my thing. Behind the Crimson Curtain. Who are you? I love when on these lists there is actually a book I haven't heard of, because I've heard of a lot of them because I'm always looking. You know what I mean? A magical con artist and actor turned revolutionary fight for freedom in an atmospheric fantasy debut. Oh, I love a good debut. Okay, this sounds like a political fantasy romance. I'm into it. Another J. Law and another Carolyn Peckham. Should we count these at this point? Like, there's gonna be like 100. Another Court of Ash, which is the same series for LJ Andrews. Again, so excited for her. Helen Schurer. This is the Blood and Steel series that she has. Definitely will be reading this. I haven't read it yet. It is high on my list. I think I have the audiobook, so once I get through some of the ones I have to read already, I will be reading that one. Zodiac Academy 8.5. No, listen, this is another series I know I probably would like because it's so ridiculous. It's probably like a total CW show of a series with how ridiculous it is. 8.5, and then you throw some novellas in there that you also have to read. No, stop it. Stop it. You're great writers. Do a new world, okay? Get out of the damn academy, okay? No, don't take advice from me. Do what makes you money, please. The Never King. I love to see The Never King on this list. Like, honestly, I love that whole series. I just read Devourer of Men because I love rock. Like, I love the crocodile character. Love it. It's like a male-male romance, and then there's also Wendy thrown in there. So male, female. Listen, plot is a knot. The spice was hot. A Crown That's Cold and Heavy. I want to say this is like book 3, 4, something like that in this series. Read the first one. It was okay. It was a good, I think a solid fantasy romance. But again, like something with the audiobook, I could not differentiate the characters as much as I wanted to. So it was kind of losing me a little bit. Alpha's Burden. Book 1. Luna Lark. Who are you, Luna Lark? I am a part of the romance readathon right now, and our 2 tropes that you can read points for is Why Choose and Shifters. So maybe this is one you might want to read, actually, because this is like an alpha rejected mate shifter romance. His treasured mate. Oh, Lord. Okay, Feather So Vicious. I think this is the first one. I want to say this is the first one of that Crow Shifter series. Oh, it says right there on the cover. I love that. Book 1. Loud and Proud, book 1. Ah, number 62, The Hunted Heir is on here as I'm filming this. The Hunted Heir came out today. I cannot wait to read it. I absolutely love the series from Holly Renee. I loved her first series too, but her second series is gonna be good. I have heard this book is shorter, like it's very, very short. And probably a little bit more fast-paced than the first one was, so we'll see. But I don't know, I love Holly Renee's writing. She could give me no plot and I would read it. Okay, we're jumping ahead a little bit. Another shifter reverse harem. They're Cursed Wolves. This is a book 2. Witches and Shifters. I'm not the biggest shifter person, so, but like I am intrigued by all these. Gleam. Okay, more Plated Prisoners, and here we go. Sarah J. Maas just put the entire series. What I think this is like, they're gonna have the entire ACOTAR series is number 55, but then like the individual books will be higher up too. I love Sarah J. Maas, right? I'm over seeing her books everywhere personally, but I am like very impressed with her staying power. You know what I mean? Like books do not have staying power as much as you think they do. I mean, there are thousands and thousands of books that come out every year, and for this series to just keep coming back so often. I mean, it's impressive. It's impressive. Reign of Shadows and Endings, I will be reading. I have the audiobook. Can't wait for another Melissa Roerich. Arcane is also doing special editions of the other series, I think, the Legacy series. But can't wait for those either. I forgot number 56 and number 53. We'll talk about those together. Crescent City. Crescent City, loved the first book, gave it 5 stars. Absolutely hated the second book. And I think the second book made me realize that urban fantasy really is not for me. Like, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. So it made the third one, House of Flame and Shadow, me not even interested in reading it. Like, I wasn't even interested in reading it. I also just like, I don't want to spoil things, but the direction that it's heading, I don't care for. Like, I just don't care for it. So I'm done with that series. That doesn't mean I'm done with Sarah J. Maas. I do love her books, but Crescent City isn't for me. And at 52 and 51, another Sarah J. Maas book, and then another Helen Schurer book. I love that Helen Schurer's books are on the top 100. I love seeing that. Okay, we're at the top 50 mark. What do you guys think so far? Just a lot of shifter romances, right? Like, to me, that's what I'm getting. A lot of shifter romances, and then a lot of the same books from the same authors. So it's like if you hit big one, the rest of your books are gonna hit big too. But I love to see like just a sprinkling of a few, like one debut author is on there for the top 50 to 100. So we'll see if anybody else new sparks my interest in the top 50. Scarlet St. Clair again this is that series that I just not interested in. I'm not a big like Hades and Persephone, Greek gods person. Not for me. Rain and Ruin. I don't even know that this is a romance. Like, is it a romance? For whoever has read this book, I have it on my Kindle. I will read it at some point. I got it like free from Stuff Your Kindle Day. I thought this looked more like a very heavy political fantasy, maybe with like a sprinkle of a romance in there. Let me know if you've read it. I am still interested in it, and again, I think the cover is striking in a way that it's different from a lot of its predecessors on here. Even on this list, it looks different and it stands out, you know what I mean? Dark Fae. Dark Fae is the one that I did read. I enjoyed. Okay, I enjoyed, but it's in that class of books that I call a CW show. Like Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing is a CW show. It just has a lot of melodrama, you know? Like a lot of melodrama. It makes for an entertaining time, but is there a lot of substance there? I don't know. Like if you're looking for substance, I would not pick these types of books up. But if you're looking for just like a good entertaining time, that's what these books are for. This Krista Street series too, this is the third book, Wings of Snow at 47. I have this book as well and I want to read it. It looks kind of cool, but definitely because it says winter, you know, winter right on the front of that book. We know we're not going to be reading it in the summertime. Okay, I'm very seasonal like that. Another one from Stasia Stark from the same series. Oh, and here we go. Oh, SJM 3 times. These books are so old. Again, they're so old. And I know they're like fantasy romance 101, but again, like I'm ready for new authors to come on this list. The Mist Thief. Okay, The Mist Thief. I keep planning on reading it right away, but then other books just come in that I need to read first. But this is the third book from the Everking series, and it's with a new couple. And I really want to see what's going on with this new couple because it's kind of like a marriage of convenience type of book. This series, I absolutely adore it. So much action and adventure, so much good heat in it. And yeah, it's a good one. Amid Clouds and Bones. Ella Fields and we don't always get to like on the same page about what we like in fantasy romance. But I keep seeing this cover and it looks very not fantasy romance. You know, it almost looks contemporary. An arranged marriage to a heartless fairy prince. So it's a royalty book. It does say fast-paced, enemies to lovers, and high heat, which are all good things that I like. Like I love a good plot-driven book. It has to keep going for me. And yeah, I'm not counting this out just because it's Ella Fields. We will try it. More Sarah J. Maas and Carolyn Peckham. Okay, number 37, Viciously Yours. This is another one I have on my Kindle. Definitely want to read soon. Like this book just sounds really cool. Like he knows the name of his fated mate when he's like 13 or something, or she's 13 or something like that. He can't see her yet until she's of age, so he sends her letters, and she gets these letters because she doesn't even know the Fae exist, and she's like, who the heck is sending me this weird letters saying like that they love me and that they can't wait to be with me. And then he like even sends her a gift, and then she's kind of like, whoa. So when he comes to collect her, the drama ensues. I really want to read it. Like, I really want to read this one so bad. The Ever Queen. The Ever Queen again. I love it. I love the Ever Queen. 36. LG Andrews again, and Zodiac Academy again, and Guild again, and Throne of Glass again. Okay, Blood and Steel. This is the first book, so I like that it's at number 31. It's getting popular, and I love when more people read it and more people get excited about it. It's so great. Apprentice to the Villain. I have been wanting to read this one. I do have the audiobook of the first one, but it's just one of those like I gotta be in the mood for because it's more of like rom-com-y type of fantasy romance, you know? When I've had too many of these fantasy romances with these big worlds and very political heavy, very heavy romance, I like to dip my toes into things like Apprentice to the Villain. Like it's definitely that break in the monotony that I need. A Court This Cruel and Lovely. This is the one that I did read. I personally just thought it was okay. Okay, Of Frost and Feather. I haven't heard of this book, but I definitely know that this author has a whole series. I think the first one is about a crow as well. Like, it has a crow on the cover. I don't really know much about it. Some people say it's good. I have no clue. Okay, The King of Frost and Shadows. I have not heard of this author, and it's like at a high spot. Ooh, it's another fae book. It's just another royal fae romantasy, but it sounds like she's on Earth and she's like forgotten her fae history. He needs her. He needs her blood. He doesn't want her. He just wants her blood. Savage. Okay, Their Lethal Pet as well. Okay, why choose? Clearly, why choose dark monster paranormal? It's like a dark paranormal romance. I'm not hating it. I'm not hating it at all. Another Zodiac Academy like book. Zodiac Academy 700. Like, by the time these authors are like 60, they're gonna have like 47 books. Court of Winter. Okay, Court of Winter is the one that I want to read. That is the first book in the series. And then we have The Veiled Kingdom. The Veiled Kingdom is really good, guys, okay? If you haven't read it yet and you love fantasy romance, you should. It's like just a more fun, adventurous read with like a crabby hero, you know the type. A crabby hero, and the girl sells herself to the enemy so she can be safe because her family is crazy. And then they train together. It's really good. Zodiac Academy, Two Twisted Crowns at number 20. I kind of consider this more historical fiction-y. I mean, I know it's fantasy and I know that there is a romance in it, but again, it's like traditionally published. I personally just think it's not exactly like the others, you know what I mean? But I heard it's so good. I do want to read it at some point. Very gothic. Number 19, Zodiac Academy. Heat of the Everflame. Okay, I think Heat is the one that I'm trying to read right now. Burn. No, I'm trying to read Burn right now. So Heat is what, like fourth one? Is this it? No, Heat is the one I'm trying to read right now. Listen, I don't know. Spark, Glow, Heat, Burn. They all have the same title, which is one word difference, okay? And a person like me can just easily get that mixed up. The first book is Spark of the Everflame. I'm sure it will be on here too. I'm sure it will be. You should read it. It's more on that epic scale of fantasy romance, like Sarah J. Maas, like Carissa Broadbent, like all these big authors. So good. So many layers to it as well. Like, it really makes you think about like what someone would go through to like overrun the government. Like, what lengths will you go to? And yeah, it's just a really good time. Also, the Eric Bloodsinger is like a great hero. A great hero. It's pirates and Vikings. Has like the coolest pirate ship that honestly I've read. And honestly, this is a good time. It's a captor-captive, and then they slowly like each other. They become friends, and then they become lovers, and it's just so good. Such a good time. Love it. And then at number 16, my all-time favorite book, A Quart of Frost and Poop. It's not my favorite book. I hate that book. Glow of the Everflame, 5 stars. Like, seriously, it's a 5-star series. It's good. I really need to start. What was it again? Heat. Why can't I remember that? A Court of Silver Flames, loved it. I mean, all the ACOTAR books are good, okay? They're all good. If you've never read a fantasy romance before, definitely start with the ACOTAR series or Throne of Glass. Like, SJM is just like fantasy romance 101. But then move on to others because there's so many other good ones. But this one, very spicy. The spiciest. Loved it. Oh, more Zodiac Academies. Listen, they just dominate. They dominate. And I get why. They're super entertaining. Same thing with Jennifer L. Armentrout. I mean, you're talking about top tier authors, like almost fantasy romance royalty. And yeah, there's a reason why they're high on this list. One Dark Window, again, this is the first book in that duology. It's gothic, and I've heard good things. I've heard good things because there is a monster. And the OG classics, A Court of Mist and Fury and A Court of Wings and Ruin. Of course, they're going to be in the top 10 for like 20 more years. Spark at the Everplane. I love seeing Spark up there. Like, it really is really good. Like, the first book is like a 4-star for me, but the second book, 5-star. 5-star. When the Moon Hatched. There's been so much buzz about When the Moon Hatched, and it's more of one of those like lyrical writing type of magical books, right? Clearly I like those kinds of books. I have the Night Circus right there, which I would consider in that category. But the thing is like so thick, so thick. And it's one of those books that it's very daunting for me to start. And then I'm kind of in the camp where I may like it, but I also may be so bored with it. So will I read it? Will I read it? Will I love it if I read it? I don't know. It's clearly number 6 and everyone seems to be loving it. So there's that. And A Court of Thorns and Roses, of course, and the original, the OG Zodiac Academy, number 5 and 4. No surprises there. The top 3 here, Iron Flame and Fourth Wing, of course, in the number 1 and number 3 spot. I mean, this book has just, again, Rebecca Yarros has become almost royalty at this point with this series. I love it. It's just a real fun, entertaining time. I don't take it too seriously, but I cannot wait for the 3rd book because again, it's a CW show. I love the melodrama of it. I just love the melodrama of it. And then again, Assistant to the Villain. This is more of a rom-com superhero type, and I love to see that there's something other than fae books in the top 10. So what have I learned about the top 50? So paranormal dominated the first half, and I think definitely more of an epic fantasy, fae fantasy, romance still reigns supreme, especially the more popular titles still reign supreme. Sarah J. Maas, Jennifer L. Armentrout, Carolyn Peckham, Rebecca Yarros. Basically, if you are just coming into fantasy romance, you probably have read those books. I urge you all to try some of the others. All great things you will love about it. But a lot of the other books try to embrace what Sarah J. Maas and Jennifer L. Armentrout has done for the fantasy romance community, and this definitely carries on through other books. I'm really curious to see how this changes, especially going into the winter season, if it changes at all, because I've seen Sarah J. Maas and Rebecca Yarros dominate for the last 2, 5, 10, 100 years. How long have these books been out? Okay, come on, TikTok. Come on, TikTok, make something else famous. One thing I was actually kind of like surprised about, I don't see Carissa Broadbent on here at all. Like, her books are pretty fantastic. I don't see Kelly Hart on here. Quicksilver. Is Quicksilver not considered a fantasy romance? I'm curious because I've seen it dominate the charts, but maybe just not this particular chart. Food for thought. Anyways, let me know if any of these surprised you or not. Like if there's anything other surprising. For me, Kelly Hart not being on this list at all, very surprising. Carissa Broadbent not being on this list at all, very surprising. I'm kind of shocked about that. Anyways, that's the video for today. Thank you for joining me on this journey. I'll see you next time. Bye. Okay, real quick, coming in here because I was really shocked by this. I did look up Quicksilver and it says it's the #1 book right now. But what I'm wondering is this one says ebooks. Is the other list physical books? I mean, the list isn't that different. Am I gonna have to do this video over again? No, that's not gonna happen.